Well, I guess I don't hate The Last of Us Part 2. And hear me out. Joel is one of my favorite characters alongside Arthur Morgan. I feel Joel went through so much and he was broken. His tale was beautiful and tragic. And if your argument against him is that he doomed humanity, well, fuck humanity. Truly, he did the right thing in my eyes. The world was messed up for a long, long time and nothing was gonna fix it. But listen, that's ultimately my opinion. And if you don't agree, that's okay. When part 2 first came out, like you've heard me say for a long time, I was angry and I got filled with rage. I said I wanted to kill Abby and all of her friends ruthlessly. And yeah, I guess I would have liked to do that. And on a personal level, I can understand Abby and I can even sympathize with her if I see things from her point of view. But I won't see things from her point of view. And that's okay because that's how I want to interpret the game. But all of us can interpret it in a way that works for us. Now, where's all of this coming from? Well, on January 30th, 2024, I sat down at about 10 p.m. and I watched the cinematics of The Last of Us Part 2 with the commentary on. And I heard the very controversial, if you will, Neil Druckmann and the stars of the game talk about what went into the game. This included Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie, Troy Baker, who plays Joel, and Laura Bailey, who plays Abby. And through that commentary, I had a change of perspective or a change of view. I had preconceived notions of Neil Druckmann and why he killed Joel, and I believed that he killed him because he didn't like him, or he had a sort of vendetta against him. And really, I think that was immature of me, especially without doing my own research. Sometimes you'll read a negative comment about someone and you take it as a fact, and that may not always be the case, because there's a lot of bad motherfuckers out there that just want to spread negativity or stuff like that. And when I don't like something, I'm always going to tell you guys what's up. I'm never going to hold my tongue. That's not who I am. But I think that I was wrong about the game, and potentially even Neil. There are things wrong with The Last of Us Part 2, but it's not enough for me to hate the guy behind the game and hold a grudge against him. That's stupid for me to do on a personal level, because life is already chaotic. Why do I want to walk around with any more hate in my heart? During the commentary, I could tell how much the cast loved Joel and respected him, and how Neil Druckmann even understood why Joel decided to lie to Ellie and doom humanity. He is a father himself, and he said that he would do anything to protect his own kids. They just wanted to take risks with the story and wanted to push you as the player to his limits, or to our limits, and make you question yourself and what you believe. It was risky, and they know that. They were about to piss off a lot of people with killing Joel, but they probably didn't think it would go as far as getting death threats and all that crazy stuff that was going on as it was released. But the team put in the time and the hard work to deliver the best experience that they thought they could give. The game is heart-wrenching, sad, dark, depressive, and violent. After completion, I was dead mentally for a while. I had never finished a game before where I take a deep breath as a sign of relief because I was so sad, just for the whole journey and how tiring it is. I remember I was gonna go on a trip back home to North Carolina, and the game came out 2 days before that trip. So I sat there in the living room and I played for like 13 hours straight, and then I played for another 6 hours straight just to be able to finish the game before I left on this week-long trip. That had to have taken an effect on me as well, just having to play all that raw emotion in such a short amount of time. But I remember thinking that this game made me feel some stuff that I hadn't potentially felt ever. It's a piece of art or entertainment that may be a once in a lifetime, because that journey was no joke and the emotions were out of control, especially at the time of release. Well, I'll tell you right now that 4 years later, I still don't think Jesse should have died. He had so much potential, and he could have been a great addition going forward in the series, and he could have been a wonderful, great father to his son. I also don't care for Abby, and I think that the story had some pacing issues. But I don't hate Naughty Dog. I don't hate Neil Druckmann, and I'm not gonna sit here anymore and act like I do. And hell, I'd be lying to you if I said that I wasn't looking forward to the third game to see what happens next. Quite honestly, I do love Naughty Dog, and I do love a lot of the hard work that they put in and a lot of the things that they've done, like the Uncharted series and especially 4. They always seem to deliver something special, whether it's received good or bad. It's always gonna be special. I guess I was just still very angry, but I won't be anymore. Joel to me is still one of the two GOATs. Now, if you haven't seen the commentaries that I'm talking about, you should check them out on YouTube somewhere. They come with the remastered Part 2 edition, but I'll leave you guys with a couple of them from Part 1 and Part 2 that are my personal favorites. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Joel here for the first, again, he's connected. He can't help it.
Was that everything you hoped?
It's the first time he's like saying something semi-nice to Ellie.
But there's still this layer of cynicism behind it.
He gets taken away by that childlike wonder. And this is something we added after the fact, the watch. The watch wasn't, we didn't have the watch at the time.
Yeah.
And Joel was just crossing his arms, and I asked the animators to like, oh, could you just flip his wrist and have him look at the watch?
Yeah.
This moment is reminding him of Sarah. And it's like the stakes are high, and it's like, okay, well, then I'm gonna drop this bomb. Not her. It's like, how many years has it probably been for Joel since he even like
Don't bring
thought
up
about
that
it,
name.
mentioned it?
I think Joel's thought of that name every day, but I don't think he's heard it said. That shove that you gave that was nowhere in the script.
I think that came out of frustration, definitely, because when we had come back and we couldn't find it, and I wasn't necessarily frustrated with you, I was frustrated with us in the scene, and I was like, oh, fuck.
It's so cold of Joel to do this, and I've had people on the team ask me to remove this part, that he's being too cold, and I'm like, no, it's like, because she's being so vulnerable and he's having these feelings, he's trying to shut it down. That's why he's being so cold. It was so important for me to keep that in there.
When he says you're not my daughter, it's almost an insult.
And it's kind of the opposite of what he's feeling. And again, just to show how far Joel's willing to go to remove any threat for Ellie.
I mean, we had talked about this before where, you know, she obviously has that bullshit detector.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like I knew you were lying. You know, I feel like Ellie knows you're lying.
We had to honor the ending of the first game, that moment of okay, of lie, that again, Ellie knows something is off, but she doesn't quite know how to deal with it or how to move past it. Right, so this scene has like, you see at the beginning, she's trying to get rid of him, and then he wins her over by playing the song, and like she softens by the end of it.
I knew we were losing a character that we all love very deeply. You know, even the imaginary circumstances of that are just hard. It's also our, you know, all of our friendship, my friendship with Troy. So just seeing that and...
What I remember more than anything is, you know, we're going through the mechanics of it, and we're stupid suits on a soundstage, and there's all of these machinations and things that are keeping it goofy. But the one thing that cuts through the din of all that is when I look over at Ashley. Because being the great actor that you are, all of those things go away, and all you see is the moment that we're trying to create and the reality of what this scene is for you personally. And everything that I'm feeling, everything that I'm thinking is gone because I'm just watching. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to watch that scene without it bringing me to that place, ever. But the thing that has been proven to me is because of the way that I feel, because it's so hard, it is absolutely the most honest, perfect version of this story. There's no other version of this story. There just isn't.
And for this version of the scene, it was important that we were in Ellie's head, that you don't get to hear this conversation that's happening around her. But this was just about the ringing of the ears of pure hatred and anger that she's experiencing right now. He has unconditional love for Ellie, and that's what drives her mad. It'd be so much easier if he was just a complete piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
And you could just forget about him.
Yeah.
But you can't. I don't care the cost. I would do it all over again, even if it means I'd lose you. It's left with that question of like, once you've committed all these atrocities yourself, can you come back from that? And we saw that Joel was able to, and then maybe Ellie could as well.